Hi, I'm Eddie Obeng, and this is How. Daily, I try and bring you a new tip, an idea, or one of our wonderful people engagement tools. This one today for you is a treat in a world where everyone's busy and everyone's trying to keep their life in control. It's called the 5-minute tip. So let's go to Cube and have a look. And as you can see, the sun is always shining on Cube. It doesn't matter what you do, the sun always shines. And if we weren't going to go through our lovely pet, I would have taken some time to sit with you under those lovely umbrellas and we'd have had a look. But we got to get on with stuff. So let's have a look at what's going on. The 5-minute tip, let's get a bit closer. Great. So people talk about this thing called work-life balance, okay? And I'm going to try to give you a way to make that bit work better. I don't really believe there is such a thing as a work-life balance, to be 100% honest. I think if you've got a work-life balance issue, you've got the wrong work or the wrong life. But moving on from that. Okay, so people worry about, how do I get my work-life balance right? And one of the reasons is because for some reason at work, people are always queuing up to chase them, to ask them for stuff. So somehow or other, they've got themselves into being a bottleneck. So the 5-minute tip is basically a way to escape and get more time for yourself and also stop being a bottleneck. How does it work? It's a very simple idea. The idea is that if you are learning stuff yourself, you're growing. But if your team are not learning stuff, your team have no idea how to do what you want them to do. So one of the rules of New World Learning is that you must always share the new learning you find as quickly as possible with the other people around you. Because otherwise, what will happen is you'll have a view of what you want to do. This is your view of what you want to do. Put an exclamation mark above your head, okay? And then your team have no clue. So you've got the skills. They can't do it. So every single time you try and do something, you end up with a bottleneck because they have to keep coming back to you. And then you end up having to think about it yourself, work it through yourself, and then explain it to someone else. And then amazingly, all your time is gone. And then you complain that your work-life balance is all work and then no life. Of course it is. What were you expecting? You have to teach fast. And so the 5-minute tip is a way to, in a conversation, in a corridor, pass on that knowledge. It's a pet. So once again, as always with every single pet, same tricks over and over again. Never forget, if you're on Cube, find a whiteboard to work on. If you're on your desk, get a printout of the pet. I'll send you to the quick guides at the end. Get some stickies, always writing stickies. So how does it work? So I had one recently. My friend Tom came to visit and we spent some time talking. And I'm sure he was surprised afterwards because I basically sent him a set of tools of what we've done. Why? Because I know that if I teach him, it's great, but he needs to pass it on to everyone else. So the way you pass it on to people is you say, basically, I'd like to share with you. And that's a normal thing for people to say. And then you tell them how the challenge arose. Oh, well, one of the headaches we had was I was coming up with lots of ideas. And people were starting to push back on the ideas, and especially because we needed in an area of the business where we needed a lot of growth and stuff like that. It was surprising. The people I was having to deal with were Fred, John, and William, and they were just giving me such a hard time, and I don't know why. Okay. Now, normally when that happens, you just get into a tiz. But my insight was I kept bringing ideas, but I hadn't thought through the ideas from their point of view. What I was worried about was if I didn't say the ideas clearly, they wouldn't know that they were mine. But what I did and what I learned was if I rephrase them as questions, then people get a chance to contribute and then they feel ownership and then they take them on board. So my conclusion would be stop trying to take the credit and instead focus on how you can get other people to become part of your idea and then make them help you make it happen. Does that make sense? So I've just taken you through a 5-minute tip. It didn't even take me 5 minutes. But this is what you should do with every single new idea you have and get it written up on your pet. So when you bump into people in the corridor, when you see them at the end of a Teams or Zoom meeting, you can splurge a 5-minute tip and then magically you stop being the bottleneck and they can grow. And that's my 5-minute tip for you today. I've been Eddie Obeng, always more. I'm on LinkedIn, cube.cc/pets. 5-minute tip. That's where you can find the quick guide. Thank you very much. Have a fantastic time.